Hello everyone and welcome to Game 3 in the series between Remind and Focus here on Twisted Meadows. Remind currently with a 2-0 lead in this series, and I just realized that I perhaps cast these games out of order just because you can't really see the full name of the replay. The replay sites that I pull these replays from, they name the game with the date, and then the time, and then the players, and then the map, and then what game number. So it just fell off the end of the list there. Hopefully I'm casting these games in order. I do believe I am, but if I am not, I apologize already. But then it adds the excitement. You don't know if this is a best of 3 series or a best of 5. And you don't really know who wins. Focus here at the what I'll call the 4 o'clock position of Twisted Meadows. As the games do get set up and get underway, it most likely will be, I'm going to predict a Demon Hunter versus a Blade Master matchup once more, as that is the most common opening. There's the Blade Master, there's the Demon Hunter, and now we are going to see a Wisp coming around over here and do a bit of Ancient of War creeping, perhaps? No, that doesn't seem to be the case. Alright, Remind, currently with absolutely no production buildings, no Ancient of War, and only an Altar of Elders, maybe trying to go for a very, very, very quick Tier 2. Now, this strategy for a quick Tier 2, I'm not quite sure what Remind wants to do with it. He could go for Dryad's dual Ancient of Lores, as normally Headhunters are not used, or he could be going for Huntresses, as a Huntress Hall is now being added, and finally the Ancient of War there. So it is going to be a Huntress build, and perhaps a third building will be added here, as the peons, or this one peon kind of stuck now. Not quite sure. There you go. There is a Moonwell as the Demon Hunter now going after the peon. The peon pretty much with nowhere to run. Isn't going to be able to do very much of anything, as the Wisp are just wandering around here still. The Demon Hunter knows, that peon is down to 65 hit points. One more attack from that Tree of Life and will be almost dead. So the Demon Hunter pretty much knows that that scout is not worth his time going after, as the Wisp just patrols that location. Focus quickly buys a Circlet of Nobility over here, and now going after the Troll Trapper that I believe drops a tome. We'll see what the tome is. A Tome of Experience, probably the item that he is looking for, and then followed by perhaps a Tome of Agility. Nope, it is just going to be a Tome of Health. Not all too helpful there at all, as he now wanders around. Ancient Protector now being built a little bit outside the fog of war, so we are going to be doing a Tower Rush. Blade Master now going after a Null Brute. Tower Rush back down over here, as we now see the Blade Master going up against Grunts. The Blade Master could easily take on 1 Grunt, but doesn't want to try to fight 2, as the Grunts do have more hit points, and then he can really deal with on his own. The Demon Hunter still wandering around here, no mana burn, no immolation, as we now see a research into Ultra Vision. So he wants to be able to attack and have very, very, very good spotting for those Ancient Protectors, as this Ancient Protector will be scouted out by the Grunts. The Grunts should spot this now, and now know that something is up. Focus needs to return back home. Circuit of Nobility now coming in. Grunts are back over here. We'll see how this is all going to work, as the Huntress now going to make her way and start chasing after those Grunts there, as the Ancient Protector, however slowly he does move, will be able to root himself here and then start launching rocks straight at that Voodoo Lounge. It looks like the Ancient Protector first ate a tree, as the Blade Master wants to perhaps take it down. And no, is he going to reveal himself, as Grunts are now coming in? There is one Huntress. Blade Master now coming in, and give me one moment. My apologies. Getting back into the game, we're going to see Focus now trying to chase back the Remind's Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter does push all the way back, as the Ancient Protector is now no longer in the fight. Grunts are now trying to chase back this one Huntress, as one Grunt actually steps within range of this Ancient Protector. Ancient Protector now moving, as we hear the Demon Hunter, who still has not gotten any experience, try to push in. Grunts coming in across the center. Blade Master, what is going to be happening here is the Grunts are going to perhaps try to surround this Ancient Protector. The Ancient Protector still does fight back, and he is regenerating some hit points rather quickly as he is still eating trees. The Grunts still dealing a fair amount of damage as the Blade Master needs to be very, very careful. The Huntresses, however, are going to be able to get in a lot of easy damage there as there is a mana burn. Blade Master will be forced to heal back inside as the Grunts are going after the Demon Hunter. This Grunt will fall. There it goes as the Demon Hunter at level 1 finally on the board with 60 experience after one Grunt does go down. This Grunt looks like it will be able to run inside the back of the base again as we now see Huntresses attempting to run away. Blade Master is going after the Demon Hunter, but the Demon Hunter uses a scroll, a town portal, just in time as now Focus trains a Shadow Hunter. The Shadow Hunter looking to keep all of the heroes alive as we now see that the Blade Master is attempting to run away. A Keeper of the Grove as the secondary hero now from Remind, as Entangle has become much more popular as of late. Ancient of Lores are now being added, dual Ancient of Lores. Nothing too out of the ordinary with that. Dryads and Bears, a very strong combination against the Orc, especially if Focus does not try to go for Kodo Beast. Kodo Beast, however, able to chomp on Bears and Dryads pretty effectively if they can get within range. Berserker Strength now being researched as the Blade Master makes his way over here. It looks as though the Ancient of War is tanking a lot of that damage. Demon Hunter finally at level 2. And what is going to happen? Getting some experience, and he's going to take another hit? No, he is not going to be able to take another kill steal there as the Demon Hunter with a giant belt of strength getting, and I believe, an additional 150 hit points on that giant belt of strength and also improving his hit point regeneration. Blade Master now going after the Null Warden. Shadow Hunter is off over here. There could be a Hex. This Shadow Hunter is going to get mana burned. There it is, as now the Null Overseer taking a lot of damage. Not quite sure why Focus is not engaging, as the Shadow Hunter would maybe forced to use a Speed Scroll. There you go, finally using the Speed Scroll in order to get away. A little bit of momentary mishaps there, as we now see that the Shadow Hunter is just out of position. The Keeper of the Grove now comes in with a nice Entangle, and that Entangle is going to cause problems. A quick Hex now on the Demon Hunter. The Grunt looks like it will get taken down. Both sides trying to exchange, and there is a Staff of Preservation as the Blade Master is now in trouble. Blade Master now going to regenerate and heal back inside his base with the help of some healing salves now as this game continues on. Ancient of Lores are now training up Dryads. We are getting that Abolish magic as well to perhaps abolish the magic on that Hex, wanting to make sure that those units do not stay as a frog, sheep, or crab all too long. We now see the Ancient of War finally creeping out the natural creep camp location, and the Keeper of the Grove, if he does get to level 2, will have Thorn Aura perhaps, and Thorn's Aura very, very deadly against an army that primarily is all melee. Grunts, Blade Master all taking additional damage back as we now see the Keeper of the Grove pushing in. We can see that the Blade Master going straight after those Dryads. Dryads taking a lot of damage. There's an Ensnare. One is going to be ensnared down over here as we saw the Abolish magic remove. I believe it was a Hex. As now Grunts are now being slowed down. There's another Entanglement, another Mana Burn, and in come Wisps. Wisp now coming in to perhaps try to detonate onto the heroes. There's a detonation, removing 50, removing another 50, as units are still getting taken out. The Keeper of the Grove goes down at level 1. Blade Master going after this Raider over here, who's going to come out as another Mana Burn, essentially making all of Focus's heroes completely... wait, I thought the Keeper of the Grove was taken out. What? Oh, Keeper of the Grove got level 2? Alright. I'm completely lost sight of the Keeper of the Grove. No, the Keeper of the Grove was still alive. Blade Master now being forced to run away. This is not looking good, as the Dryads now getting in some more damage, and there is the GG. So, Focus losing the Remind in 3 straight games. And the final game in this cast, anyways, here on Twisted Meadows. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.